basically trying to decide, should we go up to Frostfound and Irem right now? Because unfortunately, Mount Palmerston's the other way. We have 8 fuel. That should be enough as long as we don't have the light on too much. Especially considering Frostfound should give us a little bit. Not gonna mess with the Khanate boat. For one, I think they'd be a lot harder to fight if they weren't pinned up against their own palace at the time. And for another, I'd really rather not have their suspicion go any higher. It's already bad enough. And yeah, to try to get into Frostfound, we need mirrors 50, and we only have 32, so that's not happening for a while. Raising veils is more important. So we're going to rest at the House of the Amber Sky. Sadly, we don't need to do any of the special things here, or we don't have the ability to do them. We need a Searing Enigma for that, we need wounds for that. So we're just gonna rest, recover, and dream. At the top of a low hill, a tower stump stands. The masonry looks Iremi. The door is rotted. The space within filled with thorned vines, but cracked mirrors still hang on the walls, and in each one you see a different scene. Bright-eyed soldiers bind sharks in iron. Clay men war with clothes colonies in the streets of Polythyreme. The alarming scholar cracks soul tubes between his teeth. Truth, dream, or both. You will wake in the House of the Amber Sky. Your clothes will be stained with the juice of crushed leaves. Lost 20 terror, gained 2 memories of distant shores, gained 10 fragments. Yeah, that's worth it in exchange for some coffee. Could go, run between the Gant pole and the Chelinate, but once again, our fuel is getting kinda low. So I think we need to just head for Mount Palmerston. It's also starting to look more and more like Hideaway is probably in the part of the map that we just have not explored at all. So at some point, we're just gonna have to stock up on fuel and supplies and pretty much nothing else and just head out that way. Oh crap, we did need wine. Should have kept that cask. Okay, I will try to remember we need wine at the Undercrow. The wreck waits below, a dark shape in dark water. What caused it to sink, and does anything salvageable remain? Retrieve sunken treasure. The cabins of the wreck are intact. Something of value may have survived. As you peer through a porthole, a finned shadow sweeps past. We're gonna try it. You don your diving suit. You lead a small crew down to the wreck. The lights of your submarine push at the darkness around you and reveal a gash in the ship's hull, which allows easy entrance. Your search uncovers neither reward nor peril. A crewman expels a stream of bubbles. In relief, in frustration, the moment before an eel as thick as the barrel of your deck gun engulfs his helmeted head. You do for the eel with a machete, but it is too late for your crewman. The Z teaches lessons swiftly. Lost a crew, but gained fragments. We'll get another crew member, it's fine. This is Anth that we're looking at to the south. We may stop there later, but after Mount Palmerston. We're down to 3 barrels of fuel. An abyss. We could try diving. I do remember that you kind of want more hull, though, because you can actually take hull damage doing this, but we'll try. Your helmsman gives you a questioning look. You say nothing. You are unaccustomed to repeating yourself. With a trembling hand, she steers your vessel down. You sink into the abyss like a coffin into a grave. Stony walls rise about you. The vessel's light picks out beds of undulating anemones. Pale fires bubble from fissures in the walls, refracted by willful currents into hypnotic cascades of light that shiver across the interior of your vessel. St. Brendan's fire, Azalor gasps, the navigator's blessing. Retrieve a sample of the fires. A true sailor can carry them without being burned, it is said. This rite will increase your mirrors by 20, but decrease your veils by 10. Succeed or fail, you will gain the rite, but failure will damage your hull. I mean, it is overall a boost, because we're gaining 20 in mirrors and only losing 10 in veils. The problem is we really need veils, but we also really need mirrors for that Frostbound challenge, because this would actually put that within reach. And going deeper is not a great idea here, because we really don't want to deal with hull damage. We're gonna try the right. You don your diving gear. You swim out into the abyss. Behind you, your crew's faces are pressed at the portholes. Darkness stretches above and darkness waits below, but where the fires burn glows a region of pale, frantic light. You approach the nearest fissure, reach out. It scalds your hand, hot as a freshly boiled kettle. You grit your teeth, scoop up a handful of flame, and return to your vessel. Your crew are gesturing frantically. The heat of the abyss is beginning to warp the shell hull. You set the fire in a glass tank. It occasionally leaps out and plays across your hull. Our hull's still intact. We're fine. We'll need to repair it when we get back to London, but we were going to do that anyway. So if we want to do a different rite, we'd have to forsake this one. So I'm thinking maybe we grab more, we go to Frostbound and do whatever it is we need to do there for the Serpentine engine, and then we possibly forsake this rite and get the veils back. We are going to buy at least a few supplies. Not too many, because it's not the world's best price here, but now we're going to buy some fuel. That gets us up to a fair bit. And we're going to head to Frostbound now. Although while we're here, we may as well explore the island. Sorry, we do not have any souls. We really need to remember to bring a crate of human souls here from Khan's Shadow or something. Nope. We do not want to deal with you. Honestly, if I were going to pick a rite that I just want up all the time, it would actually be a drop in mirrors to, like, possibly favor iron veils or pages. Actually, if there's one that increases pages by 20, I'll take it no matter what it drops. Under most circumstances, but this particular one for mirrors has its uses right now. Should really probably switch to the other engineer that increases engine power rather than fuel efficiency, considering we're using the smallest engine. I think I just have him up right now because I wanted maximum veils before going into London, because I was probably smuggling something or other. Okay, we need to lower our terror first, which is fine. We'll take T here, which will lower it enough. In we go. A long flight of stairs rises glistening to a sheer tower. There is no door. Your reflection hangs in the cloudy ice. Face the wall. You probably shouldn't do that, one of the squatters advises. Ignore her. Face the wall. Examine your cloudy reflection. Close your eyes. Step forward. Shiver. Frostbound radiates both cold and a subtle chill of the heart. Did you move at all? Or is it your reflection that moved? You are inside Frostbound. Light. 100 rich and blinding colors filter through the ice. It's like drinking a kaleidoscope. It's like being kidnapped by rainbows. The colors shift with every step you take, revealing shining corridors. In each and every corridor, your reflection waits. Enter the sapphire chamber. This corridor shimmers with a blue as rich as the sky of the surface. A howling wind. It fills your ears, but the air is still. Every faucet of the ice crystal wall is the hard and depthless blue of a desert sky. You take one step further in, and that blue plucks at your senses. Vertigo spins you. A voice intones, "This was the sky." Recall other places where there is no sky. You are far from any sky. Stare fiercely into that fierce blue, and call to mind your memories of skyless islands. 34% chance on our veils, which we sadly had to drop just to get in here. Step into the sky. You'll be terribly exposed, but perhaps you'll learn something. This will sacrifice a point of veils. 34% or just sacrifice and move on. I'm gonna try for the 34%. Confusion. Where are you? What is happening here? Around you, Frostbound shivers like a bubble. Is it even real? So we're losing memories of distant shores. We're also losing terror. We have 11 of these. I'm gonna try. We are not getting it. Come on, 34% isn't impossible. An accommodation. Took a few tries. Yes, this blue is brittle. A brittle, savage barrier. Press against it and it will shatter, spilling you into the high wilderness. But you are safe in the dark. You are afraid, but you have mastered your fear. So we gained 5 terror, but we also lost a bunch of terror from failing, so it kind of balances out. Okay, so that didn't really do anything. Do we have to step into the sky to progress? Alright. The horror of emptiness. Increase your terror further to penetrate further into Frostbound. The right items mean you may not have to sacrifice skill points. Okay. Enter the Amethyst Gallery. Over here, a corridor is the deep violet of the more colorful undersea corals. Dappled shadows drift like fish. You are the center of hunters' attention. Things like and unlike sharks, long, sleek, half visible behind the walls. You have the sudden sense that they are vaster than sharks, vaster than Frostbound itself. Perspective confounds you. This place stretches away every direction through a dusty purple haze, as if you float in a cloud. The air is chill and crackling. Vast and shadowy shapes hang lifeless in the distant cloud, fluids staining their hides. Whale things and beast things, bigger than dirigibles, bigger than cities. You are a speck in the cloud. Are you still inside Frostbound? Once again, there is a voice, lifeless as leaden type. There were casualties. Yeah, our iron is not going to get us through that, and Z stories are way more valuable than memories of distant shores, so we're just going to sacrifice the point of iron and move on. Fear is the way to the heart of Frostbound. You will not escape unscathed. Terror profundi. Great, sad, dead eyes like stagnant crater lakes. Mouths which could drink rivers. Your entire ship would be a glint on a speck like a pockmark on the least limb of these things. Every time you enter battle, you will remember this. Enter the cavity. That corridor glows the rich red of sunlight on fresh blood. Bright as pain. As you tread the corridor's crimson faucets, you almost expect your feet to come away sticky. You are bathed in crimson light, thick as cream. It warms your skin and fills your mouth with the taste of iron. This is only a memory of a memory, a voice intones. The crime is forgotten. Its shadow remains. Yeah, our hearts is probably not going to get us through that, although we have many tales of terror to attempt. I don't know how many points of terror we can lose before it kicks us back to the previous room, which would require us to sacrifice another point of iron. terror 35 and terror no more than 49. So we have basically 1 point of terror to attempt this. We will try. No. There was terror you found out on the Z. You remember it keenly, but what does it mean, this chamber, this place? Frostbound shivers around you. Memory is fragile. Although it doesn't kick us out to where we have to re-enter. But, of course, the more times we do that, the more points we're going to have to sacrifice. And again, it's only a 20% chance of succeeding, so... Take the hearts. That art. All living things are joined in the chain. Men and apes, bees and roses, messengers and stars. When the red science breaks it, even time is scarred. Now that scar has touched your spirit. And yeah, we needed all of that terror to get here. Enter the emerald vista, the green of forests, of poison, of leaves haloed by arclight. Chilly air, the scent of pine. Rich, deep, fresh green of infinite depths and tints. If secrets had a color, it would be this. It baffles and delights the eye. A chilly wind brushes you. Something sought, the voice intones. Something lost. Okay. Yeah, this requires you to sacrifice fragments, and we have a 17% chance of doing it, so sacrifice the point of mirrors and move on. There are changes which will wash away all that you were and all that you are. Nothing is familiar. Everything is new as morning. Your sight is dazzled. Your perceptions confounded. Here the light is brightest, lightning bright, migraine bright, bright as humiliation. Even when you close your eyes, the light does not diminish. A narrow space of blinding light, all colors and none, between the towers of Bright and the towers of Teneb. Once on the bridge, you will be exposed, like an insect in the desert, like a fresh carcass on the operating table, like a jewel in the sun. We do have 3 visions of the surface. We could attempt this, and Pages is valuable enough that I'd really rather not sacrifice more of it, but I also think if we fail it and lose terror, we'll end up having to sacrifice 2 points of Pages to continue. Sacrifice the frickin' point. The light will erode what you are. An acid dazzle. You stumble through a mounting haze of dread. The light tears at you. Thoughts wither like charring paper. Across into the merely brilliant light of inner frost found. Enter the iridescence. A softer, pearlier, mirror fog glow coils from this corridor. If this is Frostfound's pearl, what dark inclusion provoked it? The light here is very different. The ice crystal walls are invisible behind a soft and luminous fog. Even the air is warmer. Your shadow paces you, stalking the boundaries of the fog. Know yourself, a voice intones. Retrieve the mechanic's secret. This, the mechanic says, very quietly, is as far as we go. Let's get what we came for and get out. I don't want to see what's in the fog, not again. Has he been here all along? Nothing is certain in Frostfound. Okay, so you'd need one searing enigma to actually do this properly. So let's take the secret. The mechanic fumbles in the drifting mist on the floor. His shadow does the same. From within the fog, as it scrapes away in imitation, there's a dull grating noise, as of claws on rock. He comes up with a stone piglet, small enough to lie comfortably in the palm of his hand. Its eyes are bright pearls. I'm sorry, the mechanic confesses. My imagination is rather literal. He stows the pig away out of sight. Now please can we go? I feel my teeth chattering out here. We now have the mechanic's secret. We've lost 35 terror. So we're now at 60. And we're leaving now because we've basically discovered that if we want to do this properly, we're going to have to have a Searing Enigma at the end of all of this and probably sacrifice more stats.